Hi, fellow romantics.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to our first ever for the book club live book chat and book discussion. We're so excited about this. Thank you to everybody that joined our book club. We are so glad you are here. We've had a blast getting to know you all in our first month of June, starting our book club. We appreciate all of your support, your participation, everything so much. We've loved getting to know you all on here on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Discord. So we're so excited to chat tonight about our first ever book club pick for June, which was People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. We're so glad you're here, and we're very excited to chat with you about the book. So say hi when you come on. Let us know how you're doing. We're going to wait a couple of minutes until everybody comes on. But we're so glad you are here. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for joining. We're so glad you're here. Welcome. Welcome, Stevie. We're so glad you're here. We missed you last night for sprints, but we know that you were working. So we're so glad you're here. Welcome. Happy Friday, everybody. We hope you had an amazing week and are looking forward to the weekend. We know we are, but we're so glad you're here. Like I said, we're going to wait a little bit to see if anybody else is joining us. But this live stream, just like all of our other live streams, will be recorded and it will be uploaded on our YouTube channel right after we're done. So if anybody misses us live for any of our lives, our sprints, anything, you can just go back on our YouTube channel under the live tab and all of our past live streams will be there so you can rewatch the recording. And they'll also pop up in your subscription boxes if you're subscribed. So make sure to subscribe to our channel if you're not already. But we're so glad you're here. If you're watching, you're probably in our book club already. So thank you if you are. If not, you're welcome to join our book club. It's called the New Romantics Book Club. I am wearing our merch. We have our own merch shop. If you want to shop, it's in the description box. Check it out. But of course, we're so glad you're here. We have an Instagram for our book club. We have a Discord. All the links are in the description box. So definitely join if you're not already. But we're so glad to have you. Stevie said work was kicking my booty last night. Glad to be here for my weekend. Oh, I'm sorry. It was a tough work night last night. You made it through. So great job. And yeah, we're so glad you're here. And I hope you had a great day off since I know you said you have Fridays off. So I hope you had a lovely Friday and are excited for the rest of the weekend. We're so glad you're here, Stevie, as always. I was working too. I will definitely watch the couple of reading sprints I missed. Oh, thanks so much, Sarah. We appreciate it. Yeah, if you guys are ever like in the mood for a sprint and we're not live, feel free to go back and watch our old live streams. We do that for other people's channels. Steph has a playlist with people she watches with their reading sprints that are from like 6 months ago, and she'll just watch them like while we're working during the day or reading or anything. So feel free to do that for our channel too. We would appreciate it, Sarah. Thank you so much. We're so glad you are here. We appreciate you both so much for being so supportive and so involved in our channel and our book club. So thank you so much. The way tonight is going to work, this is our first ever book chat, so bear with us. We're going to kind of figure it out. But what we've seen other people do for these book discussions is ask questions about the book. And we'll answer the questions, and then we'll have all of you guys in the chat answer the questions. So that is how we're going to run it. If you have any suggestions or if you have any other questions you would like us to ask, or if you have any other thoughts to share about the book or anything tonight, be sure to leave them in the chat box below, and we will take a look. But we're going to ask some fun questions and get your thoughts about the book, and we're very excited about it. So yeah, everybody else, you can always catch the replays. If you miss it, you could start the lives over if you missed the beginning. Anything, and I know for a couple other people that everyone's in different time zones, so we understand that not everyone's going to be able to be here live, especially if you're tuning in from another country or anything like that. So that is why I love that we have like the recordings up on our channel. But like we said, we're very, very glad you're here. We're so excited to discuss our June book club pick, which is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. So I think we're just going to hop in. and I'm sure more people will come on, and feel free. So we're going to ask the questions, and then feel free to put your answers to the questions in the chat if you have an answer to share about the book. So we're going to get started. We're going to try to keep this short, about an hour long. But if we go a little over, it won't be a big deal. But we don't want to keep you all night unless you guys want to be here longer. But we're going to try to keep this to about an hour. But we prepared a bunch of questions and we can't wait to ask them. So let's get started. So I already prepped the questions ahead of time. So we are going to start with the overall thoughts about the book. So we all read People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. Some of us read it multiple times. Some of us, it was our first time. So we're excited to see what you think. So the first question that we are going to ask is just generally, how did you feel about the book? Did you like the book? Did you not like the book? Let us know your answer in the chat. And share your thoughts. And then we're going to give our answers as well. So for me, I really enjoyed the book. I really liked it. It's my second Emily Henry book. I read Beach Read, and I really liked this one. I think I liked it more than Beach Read. And we're going to talk about this more later. I had a hard time a little bit getting into it in the beginning, and then it started to get really good and it picked up. And Sarah, I loved your Goodreads review about this book because I felt the exact same way about everything you said. We had the same opinion. So overall, I did really like this book. I wouldn't say it's like a new favorite book of mine. It's not like my favorite romance of all time. I'm not obsessed with it, but I really did like it for the most part. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And Steph, tell us how you felt about the book.
Well, you guys probably know that I ended up DNF in the book when I was reading how far did I get? I got like 30 pages. I got only 30 pages in, then I DNF'd it because just like with Beach Read, I just couldn't get into it. I realized I do not like Emily Henry's writing style. Her writing style is just not for me, and I kind of had a similar issue with Beach Read where I also just could not connect with the characters at all. I got a lot farther through Beach Read. I think I got over 100 pages for Beach Read, and I DNF'd it too for those reasons. So I feel really bad for DNFing this book since it was for our book club, but I just recently realized that her books are not for me.
Yeah, and that's completely fine. Steph was a little worried about coming on here to share her thoughts because she didn't really like the book. But I told her, everyone has their own opinion. It's all good. We all like different authors. We all have different tastes, and not every book is going to work for everyone. And it's nice to have different opinions on here. It'd be boring if we all had the exact same opinions. You know what I mean? So I told her not to worry. Her opinions are welcome. Everyone's opinions are always welcome here. We would never judge you or criticize you if you had different feelings about a book than we did. Everybody has a right to their own opinion. So never feel afraid to share your honest thoughts. Please be honest when you answer these questions. We would never judge you. So overall, Steph didn't like the book from what she read, and I really liked it. So again, different opinions. And let's see what everyone in the comments said. So if you didn't comment yet, share your opinion. Tell us whether you liked the book or not. And let's see. Stevie said, I like this one even more than the first time. Yes. So Stevie in our Discord said that she was rereading this for the second time. And you said that you enjoyed it more than the first time. So that's really interesting. I'm glad. I think you said, Stevie, that when you first read it, you gave it 4 stars, and this time you gave it 5. So that's really cool. And sometimes rereading books changes our opinions. We've had that experience too. And sometimes when you read a book, it's just not the right time, or you're not in the right mood. And then you read it later on and you end up really liking it. So that could definitely be the case too. I'm actually curious. I don't know if I would read it again, but if I ever did, I'm kind of curious to see if I would like it even more. So thank you for sharing. And Stevie also said, I like that we have a mix of opinions. Yes, exactly. I always say life would be boring if we were all the same. You know what I mean? We were all made to be different. So we welcome all opinions here. Absolutely. Sarah said, I liked the book, but it's not my absolute favorite. 4 out of 5 stars. Yay, I'm so glad we could connect on our reviews of it. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you saw, but I actually left a comment on your Goodreads review just saying I agreed with you about it. Yeah, we felt like the exact same about everything. Yep, you're just like me. You liked it, but it's not like you're obsessed with it or anything. I think it would make a really fun movie, actually. I think
right back.
I think it would be fun to kind of see it on screen. So I'm glad that you agreed.
My eyes are green.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, Steph will be right back. Yeah, exactly, Sarah. It's completely okay. Everyone's gonna have a different opinion. Everyone has different reading taste, so no, we don't, have any judgment or anything here. I can't wait until we have a pick that Steph super loves. Yeah. Yeah, she's a more pickier reader than I am. I am not very picky. I generally love most books that I read, but she's a little bit pickier, but she is a book editor for a living, so she knows what makes a good book and what doesn't. She, from like the way she analyzes books for work. So of course she's going to see books a little bit differently than I would. Yeah, we'll have to pick a book that she's guaranteed to love. I think our July pick is going to be a hit. We'll talk more about it later because Steph and I both love Christina Lauren's books. So I think July is going to be a really good month for her. Totally okay to have different opinion. Exactly, Sarah. Exactly. I was surprised by how much I loved it the second time. Yeah, that's so great to hear, Stevie. I don't reread very often. I want to reread more, but I just don't love myself very much just because, there's so many books to read, so little time, it seems like. So sometimes I feel guilty about rereading, but I really want to reread books more often because a lot of times I do even like them more the second time around too. So I'm glad you really liked it the second time even more. Awesome. Yeah, I love reading Goodreads reviews. I just don't write them because I just find I read too many books too quickly. So it's too tedious for me to sit down and write a review for every book that I read. So I usually just give it a star rating and leave it at that. But I love reading other people's reviews, Sarah. So I really like how you wrote yours. It was very well said. I related to it so much. Rereads are rare for me too. Yeah, I need to do like a whole year or something of just rereading my favorite books. Because there's so many I want to reread. I want to read the Twilight series again, like just like so many like old favorite books. We were just talking about like how we don't make enough time to reread books.
Oh no, I agree.
There's so many books that I need to reread, so we definitely want to get around to that. But thank you guys for answering. So that was the first question. Moving on to the question number 2, we kind of answered this one already, is what star rating did you give the book? So how many stars did you rate People We Meet on Vacation? Let us know down below. And Sarah said, I know what you mean with writing reviews. I write them periodically, not every time. Yeah, I really like reading them. I just don't take the time to write them on Goodreads very often.
I like writing short reviews just because I tend to forget sometimes how I felt about a book, especially if I DNF'd it. So I like to go back and see why I DNF'd a book or why I liked it.
Yeah, so absolutely.
It just helps me remember my opinion because we read a lot of books, so we can't always remember our opinion.
Exactly. And moving on to question 2. So put in the chat, what star rating did you give People We Meet on Vacation? Let us know. So for me, I gave the book 4 stars, 4 out of 5, because for me, the way I rate books is 4 means I really, really liked it. 5 means I loved it. Everyone has a different meaning behind their rating system. But yeah, for me, if I really enjoyed it, but I wasn't like obsessed with it, it's a 4 star. So this book was a 4-star read for me because, like I said, I liked it a lot, but I wasn't like obsessed with it or like in love with it. But in the beginning, like I said, I struggled with it. I was struggling to get into it. I find that Emily Henry's books for me always have a slow start. I had this issue with Beach Read as well, and a lot of people have been saying they've had that problem with Happy Place too. So I don't know if it's just like a general thing with her books, but I had a hard time getting into it. But then I'm so glad I stuck with it because it really got a lot better. But like I said, I just wasn't obsessed with it. It wasn't my favorite romance. So 4 stars for me. Steph, I know you didn't read that much of it. So what would you give it based off of like what you've read? Can you figure that out, or is that too hard?
Probably 2 or 3.
Yeah. And let's see. Stevie said, for the first time, 5 the second time. Yes, that is amazing. I love how your review went up. I think that's fantastic. Everybody else, let us know your thoughts. We would love to hear what rating you gave the book. But yeah, for Emily Henry's books, they're usually 4-star reads for me, like around there. Same. Sarah said 4 out of 5. Yep, just like me. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys for sharing. We have a lot of the same opinions so far. Moving on to question number 3. So there's 2 ways you can answer this question. You can either describe the book in 3 words, or just share your overall thoughts of the book. Just in general, just give us like a few words to kind of sum up how you felt about the book and like what you thought. For me, like I said, it was kind of slow in the beginning and then it picked up. One of the words I would use to describe it is quirky. Because you guys know the lead, Poppy, she's very quirky. She's very out there. She's very loud. And Emily Henry's writing, I think, is quirky in general. Like, some of the things that she says are so strange and out there. Like, it's just kind of funny. Like, some of the things Poppy says, I'm just like, what is she saying?
Yeah. The dialogue was kind of weird.
The dialogue was strange at times, and even Alex, he was just like, I don't even know what you're saying. Like, he literally just said that to her, like, I have no idea what you're saying. Like, and like the way the book opened up,
yep,
where she approaches Alex at the bar pretending she's a stranger and she says like, hey Tiger, I thought that was kind of strange.
That confused me.
Let us know what you thought of that. That kind of confused us because we both thought she was talking to someone else. We didn't think that was going to be Alex.
Oh no, I felt like she was meeting him for the first time.
Yeah.
And then you find out later on that like they're
on vacation
friends.
and like they're on vacation together. So it's like, I guess the better word I could say for me, Emily Henry's writing is weird or like strange at times. And then you guys know the Mike Wazowski scene. That was hilarious. Like, I would definitely use hilarious to describe this book as well. Some of those scenes were just so funny. Like, you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, I don't want to give any spoilers, but that scene was so funny. I was like laughing out loud and I was telling Steph about it. It was so funny. But yeah, and I thought it was really cute overall. It was just like a cute book. Like I said, I had to warm up to the characters. I wasn't really a fan of them in the beginning. All they did in the beginning was describe how different they were. So I was kind of thinking, like, why are they even friends? Like,
yeah,
they're like,
were very different.
The whole beginning of the book just literally just them describing how different they are. So I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna have a hard time like rooting for these characters to get together. I wasn't sure how Emily was gonna put that together, but she ended up doing a really good job. I think like as I read more into it, I ended up really enjoying it. And I ended up actually rooting for them to get together. So it's really interesting how Emily Henry, like, she totally transitioned me into rooting for them. And I really liked their friendship. And I kind of like how they had kind of like a long distance friendship. It's very different than other books, where usually with like friends to lovers stories, I love the trope. Usually they're like close friends who live near each other and they hang out all the time. So this was different in the fact that like they lived in different places. Like he lived in Ohio, she lived in New York. I thought it was really interesting how it was kind of like a long distance friendship. So I wasn't sure about it at first. Like I said, I wasn't sure I was gonna like the book, to be honest. I I felt very very confused and unsure about how I felt. And then I think after the first like 100 pages, it started to get a lot better for me. So let us know your overall thoughts. So again, my overall thoughts, I really, really, really ended up enjoying it. Like I said, it's not like a favorite book of all time, but I just don't think Emily Henry's books are going to be that for me. I don't think Emily Henry's books for me compare to like my other favorite authors, if that makes sense. That is how I would sum it up. Do you have any words to share about like your overall thoughts? You kind of mentioned it before. Do you have anything to add or?
No, I don't really have anything else.
Yeah.
I didn't get that far. I only read up like 33 pages and then I stopped.
Yeah, exactly. No worries. Stevie said maybe perfect romantic progression. Yeah. I like that. So you were happy with like how the romance kind of like developed over time. Yeah, I wasn't sure about it, and then Emily Henry kind of convinced me like later on into the book. I do feel like you have to keep reading um to really like understand the characters and like actually want them to be together. In the beginning, I definitely was not thinking they should be together or anything. And then like Emily Henry changed my mind.
I remember I was telling you recently too. I was like, I feel like I'm not liking overhyped popular romance books.
Yeah.
Like
I'm kind of like that sometimes too.
Like I've been reading them a lot lately. Like you guys know, I didn't love Fixer Up from Tessa Bailey, so I'm curious to see if I like her other books. Yeah, Fixer Up I gave 3 stars.
Yeah.
And then I didn't care for this one or Beach Read, and then The Love Hypothesis I wasn't really a fan of either. Like I DNF'd that one like over halfway.
Yeah.
So I'm just like starting to think that maybe the like really popular romances like aren't for me. Like I just don't really love them.
Yeah, and that's completely fine. Everybody is different. And Stevie said there was literally a moment of romantic tension where I was screaming at Goodreads. Wait, Stevie, did you write a review on Goodreads? If so, I need to check it out. That's funny. I'm gonna have to go back and look at your updates on Goodreads. Because I need to know, Stevie, tell us, either I'll look on Goodreads. I don't want to give spoilers. I mean, everyone here has read it, so I don't really know why I'm worried about spoilers.
I mean,
but
you can spoil it because
I guess
it's a discussion, so
I guess you can say it. Stevie, if you're comfortable sharing, if it's appropriate, let us know what moment you're talking about. Because I'm trying to think of like what moment you're talking about. If it's appropriate, feel free to share it. Like feel free to elaborate further. Oops. Sarah said friendship, wanderlust, funny. Ooh, great words to describe it. Yes, very friendship oriented. Definitely gives me those wanderlust vibes. Oh my goodness. Like one of our other book club members, Jay, he was saying on Discord that he had like that feeling of like wanderlust like when reading it. I did too. Like it made me want to go everywhere from all the summers and all the places they traveled. It made me want to take a trip right now. So that's definitely a great word to describe it, Sarah. And yes, it was definitely funny. It was very, very funny and hilarious at times for sure.
I have to say though, even though I'm not liking her books, when the movie adaptations come out, I will definitely watch them.
If they do them right.
I think they are. I think they're doing them for like her first 3 books.
Ooh, I didn't know articles. That. Maybe I knew.
Because when I was reading the books, I was like, I can definitely picture these as movies.
I love that.
So I would definitely watch the movie adaptations when they come out. So I think they're doing them for her first 3 books.
That's what I was thinking too. Like when I was reading this, I was thinking, oh my goodness, it would make an amazing movie. As usual with like most adult romances, I just think they would make great movies. This one would be really fun to see on screen. So if they do end up adapting it, I would love to see that. I think that would be so much fun. For sure. Her banter is so fun and funny to me. Yeah, I love good banter and romance books, and they definitely had it. Um, yeah, for sure. I think it was super, super funny. The main character, Poppy, was just like so out there. And like some of the things she says are just crazy, but it was like super fun. Like the banter and the dialogue were very, very quick to read, for sure. Oh, Stevie, you jumped ahead to one of our next questions, but that's okay. When you say, I definitely relate more with Alex, but I admire Poppy. Yeah.
Yep, he's the introvert, right?
Yep, he's the bookworm. I liked his character. Yeah, for that, for sure. Hi, Kelly. Thanks for joining. Welcome to our book chat for our book club for people who meet on vacation. We're so glad you're here. Were you able to read the book? And are you already in our book club? Let us know. You missed the beginning of this. So we've just been asking questions about the book and having you guys answer them with us. So when we're done, this recording will go up on our channel. So feel free to rewind and watch the beginning from what you missed. But we're so glad you're here. Let us know if you read the book. And feel free to answer our questions with us in the chat as we go along. I'm definitely a mood reader this time around. Yeah, we're both mood readers, 100%. We have to be in the mood for a book or we're not going to enjoy it. We read with like the time of year, the seasons, the weather, like all the things. So we completely get you there. I did write a review. I think it was short, but I screamed. Okay, I need to check out your review ASAP. Thanks for sharing, Stevie. I think I know what you're talking about.
On Goodreads? Let me see.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I need to double check. I believe we're already friends on Goodreads. I can't remember the exact moment, but I think it was one of their almost kissing moments. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they had a few of those throughout the summers where you guys know if you read the book where they like almost kiss and the romantic tension was definitely there. I loved like those scenes, and I feel like Emily Henry did a really good job with that in this book. I really liked that. I didn't know they were doing movie adaptations. Yeah, I honestly forgot, so I'm glad Steph reminded us. I thought I heard that a long time ago, but then I forgot about it.
Yeah, I was looking at articles recently.
Yeah, and I think I saw the article too. So I'm excited about that. Ooh, we should have asked this as one of our questions, but I'm trying to think who can you guys picture as playing Poppy and Alex for a movie adaptation? That would be interesting. I'm not sure. Let us know if you have any ideas of actors or actresses you think would represent them well. But I'm really excited. I would definitely watch the movie.
I forgot, how old is Poppy?
Oh my gosh. Is she like 25, I think? No. I forget now. This is horrible, guys. I'm already forgetting the details. Was she 25? Correct me if I'm wrong. Was that how old Poppy was?
I found Stevie's review.
I want to say she was around 25. Maybe a little older. I think my update got lost. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. You'll have to give us another update in Discord, Stevie. Thank you guys, but those are great answers to the question. Moving on to the next question that Stevie already jumped ahead and answered for us. She read our minds. Do you connect with Alex's character more or Poppy's character more? Let us know in the chat. I think I know what we're all going to say. But for me, of course, being a homebody, an introvert, book lover, I connect so much more with Alex.
Yep.
Being on the quiet side, like he likes to be in control, but I was going to say easygoing. He's very helpful. He's very traditional. Like he just wants what his family has. He just wants to like get married, have kids, grow old with his wife. That is like literally me. Like I'm very traditional like that. Just the traditional life. Just settling down with the right person, having kids. And then like the fact that he works in like literature and he's a teacher and he likes working with like kids. I like that too. And yeah, just the fact that like when they're sitting at the bar, he's reading a book on his phone in the beginning. I just like love that. That is so us. Like You will not find me or Steph at a bar.
No.
We don't really drink. We much prefer a coffee shop. But if I were at a bar, you would definitely see me reading a book. So I love that Alex was like always reading on their vacations by the pool and everything. He's definitely someone I connect with more. I connected with Poppy in certain aspects, not her like extroverted personality, but kind of where she was, just trying to figure out her life and like what was missing and figure out what she wanted out of life and everything like that. I think kind of like her self-discovery throughout the book was very relatable, and I was able to connect with it because being in your 20s, you're trying to figure your life out, you're trying to figure out what you want for your future and your career. So I've related to Poppy a lot in those areas, but overall in terms of like personality, I'm definitely more connected to Alex. So let us know what you think, and did you agree from what you read?
Yep.
Yeah, so let us know in the chat what you guys think. Sarah said, I think I relate to a mix of Poppy and Alex. Yeah, that's kind of like what I ended up saying. I agree. Kind of like a little bit of a mixture of both of them. Even though they're different, I can connect with them in different ways too, for sure. Absolutely. Anybody else wants to share, let us know what you think. But yeah, like I said, I wasn't sure about their characters in the beginning, and then I kind of started to warm up to them more as I read, and that's literally how I've been for all of Emily Henry's books. I think they're just more like slow burns for me, or like slow starts. I think with my husband, I can definitely be a Poppy, but at my core, I'm more Alex. I could definitely understand that, Stevie, for sure. Especially if like your husband is very like easygoing and laid back. I don't know how your husband is, but if he is that way, then I could see you being like the more peppy, like energetic one, which is definitely not a bad thing at all. At your core, yeah, more Alex. And yeah, like since we're all book lovers and everything, I could see us connecting a lot to Alex for sure. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, everybody. Moving on to the next question. This one was question requested by Jay. I don't think he was able to make it tonight. He's in our book club. He asked us to ask this question, which is a super great question. So the next question is, what was your favorite summer in the book? So out of all the summers, all the flashbacks in the book, every summer mentioned for all of the trips that they took, which one did you guys like best? Do you have a favorite? If so, let us know what it was in the chat. We would love to hear. And Stevie said he's super quiet and reserved. Yeah. That's how I am like in person. I don't know if you guys think of me that way because I'm a chatterbox on camera. For some reason, I can chat all day on camera with you guys, but if you see me in person, like at a party or something, I'm super quiet. So, yeah, just different. I'm just way different in person, unless we're hanging out with people we're very comfortable with. Like if we were hanging out with you guys in person, then we would totally be fine. But just when we're around like strangers or people we're not super comfortable with, I'm super super quiet and reserved.
Yeah, we usually kind of like chill on like the other side of the party.
Yeah,
like if we have a party like in our house, like if everyone's in the kitchen talking, a lot of times I'll be sitting on the couch watching TV and just like listening to everyone's conversation.
Yeah, like exactly. Like they say like for your personality, it's like, who are you at a party? Are you the one in the center of the party standing with a group of people in the middle? Or are you one of the people in like the outer circle? And we're definitely in the outer circle. We don't like being the center of attention. We like being more in the background, which is very strange. It's strange when we tell people that because we have a YouTube channel. So it's like when people talk on camera like this, you don't really imagine them being like kind of shy and like more behind the scenes, but that is how we are in person. At the party, you'll definitely find us like more in the background than in the center where everybody is. So I'm sure you guys can relate to that.
Yeah, we're very laid back and chill.
But let us know what your favorite summer from the book was. This is going to sound like a cop-out answer, but honestly, for me, my favorite was the Palm Springs, the summer that like the book was currently taking place in the present. I enjoyed like the summers in the past, but like Steph knows this. I just really liked the current summer the most. The Palm Springs, when they went, even though they had a horrible time because the place they stayed was a dump and the air conditioning didn't work, I think that was where, they really, really connected and where their relationship really developed and they had the most chemistry. I liked just like their personalities and like everything about them the most in the present time in the Palm Springs summer. That is where I really started to like their characters, even like more so than like in the past summers. So the Palm Springs, the present time summer was my favorite. Let us know what your favorite was. Let's see. Sarah said New Orleans was fun. I'm having a hard time remembering. Yeah, no, that's okay. No worries. Only if one comes to mind. And I also did like the New Orleans one, Sarah. I agree. That one was really, really fun too. It's hard to remember. They did so many trips. For sure. I like to chat and hang out during a party, but find I need to take breaks away from the crowd to recharge. Yeah, that's definitely an introvert. Like after the party, I am so drained. I need time to just like chill out, read a book, go watch a show, and like not talk to anyone. I'm so drained after a party. And where my parents live here, our family are like the ones that host the most.
Yep.
We're pretty much the only ones that host. Like if my family doesn't host, then our family doesn't really get together. So like the gatherings are always at our house. So it's very draining. We're never really going to other people's parties. We're always the ones hosting. So we're always the one having people here. And hosting is very, very draining for an introvert. So yeah, we get very, very drained and need to go off on our own and recharge just like a proper introvert does. So we could definitely relate, Sarah. I'm struggling to think of them all, but there's so many fun moments like being on the boat ride or awkwardly on the double date. Yes. Yeah, I agree. Like there were so many fun moments throughout the whole book that were fun. It's hard to remember them all, but thank you for sharing. Those are some great memories and moments. I did love Palm Springs the most, to be honest. Alex being hurt in the balcony scene are so memorable to me. Yeah. Yeah, the first scene when they really get together, like romantically. And Steph and I both, let us know if you guys agree. We love the caretaking trope. It's more traditional. We love the caretaking trope where one person is like taking care of the other one if they're sick or or they're hurt. So Emily Henry did this in the book very well. I think she did a great job. When Alex had like a back spasm, he couldn't walk for like over a day, and Poppy ran out and got him medicine, ice packs, and everything. She took care of him in like the room they were staying in. I think the caretaking trope was very, very well done in this book. Emily Henry did a great job. Let us know if you like the caretaking trope too. So that is honestly one of my favorite moments too, even though it was sad to see Alex hurt. I just think that was like a huge kind of like transitioning point in their friendship / relationship where they really realized their feelings for each other. So I completely agree. And I'm glad that you also loved the Palm Springs summer the most, Stevie. I don't know. I just like the present time the best for the book. Or else being there for her during, the pregnancy scares. That was a flashback when she was younger. That was kind of crazy, and Alex just reacted so well. It wasn't with Alex, it was with another guy, but he was like there for her and he comforted her, and like he was like so sweet. Like I mentioned a million times already, I wasn't really sure, and I didn't really like the characters that much in the beginning. I wasn't sure about Alex. I kind of thought he seemed kind of rude and just kind of like don't bother me in the beginning. Like whenever Poppy would go up to him and talk to him, he just seemed kind of annoyed. So I didn't really like Alex in the beginning. He took time for me to warm up to. Let me know if you guys agree. But then all of a sudden, he got super sweet in the book. In like the present time and in the flashbacks, he became like such a sweet guy to her. So then I really started to like him. But in the beginning, I struggled to like him. He just didn't seem very likable in the beginning for me. But when he was there for her during the pregnancy scare, I agree, Stevie. That was like such an amazing moment. And that is just goals. Like, you definitely want your guy to be there for you
Mhm.
during a time like that. And it was so nice to him because, you know, it wasn't even like him involved. Like, it was with her and another guy. So Alex just like was a super great friend in that moment. And another spoiler, this is off topic, but what did you guys think about the fact that like Alex always, it said like he was like in love with her for like the whole time they knew each other? That was kind of a shock to me. Um what did you guys think of that? Because and like she didn't know it and she liked him for a long time too and he didn't know it. That was a surprise because, like I said in the beginning, he kind of seemed like he didn't like her at all, and like he didn't want to be around her, and she was just annoying him because they're so different. Like he always seemed annoyed by her. So the fact that like it was revealed that he always loved her, and she kind of always loved him, that was kind of a surprise. I didn't really see that coming. I see that coming a lot in Friends to Lovers books, but I did not see that coming in this one. Just because, like I said, it didn't seem like in the beginning, maybe it was just my perception, it didn't really seem like he liked her that much in the beginning. Let me know what you thought of that. But I thought that was really sweet. And knowing that, when you look back on the book, it kind of makes sense now. Like those moments when he was there for her, it kind of made sense that he had feelings for her all along because of how he like treated her. But in the beginning of the book, that would have surprised me because he didn't seem like he even liked her as a person in the beginning. So that was just my thoughts. Sarah said I like the taking care of thing too. Yeah, I love that trope. I think it's so sweet. Caretaking is everything. I think that's why I rewatched the Hating It.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, CV, like
We always talk about that.
oh my gosh, like that is like you guys, that is our favorite book of all time. If you have not read The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, go read it right now. It is literally the best adult romance book ever made. It's enemies to lovers. It has the best caretaking trope in it. Like, oh my gosh.
I
like,
really want to reread it.
I know we've been saying we want to reread it. We should read it for book club. It would be fun to do for book club. Let us know if you read The Hating Game. It's off topic, but like please go read it if you haven't. It is our favorite book of all time. Stevie already knows this. We cannot say enough good things about it. I need to reread it. And the movie was really good too. I need to rewatch the movie. But I agree, like the caretaking in that book and movie was amazing. That was like our favorite of all time. So I can see why you rewatch the movie. We need to watch it and read it again. We should read it for book club.
Yes.
For a second time. If you have not read The Hating Game, let us know if you'd want to read it together. It's our obsession. It's our favorite book of all time. So Stevie, I'm glad you love it too. I guess it helps that I have family near Palm Springs, so I totally know the vibes. Oh yeah, you're in California, so that is so cool. I love that. Have you ever been to Palm Springs, Stevie? Let us know. That's true. We've never even been to California, but we would love to someday. It was a surprise to me too. I was like, really? Are you sure that's what happened? Yes! Thank you. Like, I wasn't sure if anybody else saw that coming. I did not see it coming at all. Not based on the beginning of the book at all. Like, that very much surprised me. I thought he was like repulsed by her and didn't like her, and she was just always like bothering him. So I'm glad like I wasn't the only one. Thanks, Sarah. I never read The Hating Game. I need to. Oh my gosh. Yes, you need. I know you'll love it because Sarah, you have the same taste as we do.
Yep.
I get so excited when someone mentions it. Like, I'm so sorry if I'm scaring you right now, but like, we get so excited.
I know years ago, I think
the best book ever.
Didn't I read it first and I loved it, and then I told you to
read
it?
Yeah, Steph read it first. It's just our obsession. You need to read it, but maybe we'll do it for book club. So you can feel free to read it sooner, but stay tuned. Maybe we'll pick it for book club. We would love to reread it. And yes, you need to read it and watch the movie. Lucy Hale is in it. They released it on Amazon Prime Video, I think. Super good. You should check it out. But yes, you need to read The Hating Game. I agree. It's flat out the best caretaking. I'm already tempted to rewatch. Yes, we should do a watch party for the movie too. We could do a watch party on Discord. If you want to see that, let us know. But yeah, definitely join our Discord if you are not on there because we're gonna do lots of watch parties and like fun events over there.
Like speaking of the caretaking trope, like
love it.
I remember when I was watching like the K-drama You're Beautiful. I remember like there's a scene when she gets like really sick, like she has like a bad fever, and like the male lead he like jumps to help her and take care of her, and I was like,
Ooh.
I was so happy because I love that trope.
Yeah.
So I was like, yep, I just love that trope so much. I love when it's in like romance.
Yeah, we just love it.
It's so cute.
It's so sweet, and like, you know, like it's very realistic because, you know, when you're picking a partner, like you want someone who is going to take care of you when you're sick, right? Like it just makes sense. So like I just love when authors do it in books because it's a way for you to really see the characters connect and you get to see how they treat each other when they're at their worst, basically, and they're sick and they don't look good. I just love it so much. I'm glad you guys agree. I want to reread that too. I'm so down. Awesome. Stevie, thank you so much. We could even, if we don't end up doing it for book club, we can do a buddy read. So we'll figure that out. I've been there. Super hot. Oh, so cool. Palm Springs looks beautiful. I'm so glad you've been there. I love the excitement about a book. I'd love to read it for book club. Awesome. Thanks, Sarah. Yes, we'll definitely keep it in mind for book club. We would love to reread it.
We could also like discuss the movie too if you want to like rewatch the movie.
Yeah,
too.
we could do we can rewatch the movie after we read the book. That'll be fun, so stay tuned. We'll consider that for future months. Moving on to the next question we have is put your answer in the chat. And Sarah said buddy read would be good too. Awesome. We'll keep you posted on that. Next question is, did you guys like the flashbacks in the book? How did you feel about the flashbacks? Did you like them, not like them? Let us know. So this is where I struggled a little bit with the book because I was telling Steph this. You guys can probably figure it out because I said the Palm Springs, the current summer was my favorite. But I told Steph I wasn't a huge fan of the flashbacks, if I'm being completely honest. I liked reading about their past and like their other summers together. But I'm the kind of person where like I look to the future in life. I look ahead. I'm very optimistic and looking ahead, very goal oriented towards the future. I'm not a huge fan of like looking back at the past. So the fact that a lot of this book was bringing them back to the past, I didn't love that because a lot of the flashbacks and like the summers in the past were not really like pleasant memories. There were a lot of like not so great things that they went through. You guys know. I found that reading the present time in Palm Springs was so much better. I thought it was so much more interesting. I got kind of bored at times reading the flashbacks because like I said, at the end of the day, to say it bluntly, I don't really care about the past. Like in a romance book, I care about like the present and like where they're gonna go in the future with each other. So that is just kind of my thought. Yeah, some of the summers they just like dragged on. I wasn't that interested. And like Emily Henry to me with her writing, it's very descriptive. And I don't like that all the time where there's so much extra information, more information than you need to know. When I read a book, I want it to just mostly be about the main characters and that's it. I don't really care too much about like their family, their background, the people they've dated in the past, their exes. I don't really care about any of that. I think it's just unnecessary information. All I care about are the lead characters falling in love, basically in the present time and then moving forward in the future. I don't really care about their past and like who they've been with and all of that. So that's kind of like what a lot of the flashbacks for the summers were. It was just kind of like their past, the people they dated in the past, and like I don't really care. I thought it was just like at times unnecessary. I feel like the book could have been a lot shorter and a lot of that like filler information could have been taken out that wasn't really relevant to the characters like getting together, if that makes sense. So that is just personally how I feel. So I liked some of the flashbacks, but I didn't love all of them, and I could have honestly done without them. I honestly like I liked the premise for this book with all the summers, but honestly, I probably would have loved this book even more if it just took place in the current summer that they're in. like just in Palm Springs. I know you have to have the flashbacks because you need to see like the history, the history of their friendship and everything. But I would have been happy if the whole book was just in the present time in Palm Springs, personally. So I could have personally lived without the flashbacks. I liked them. Like I said, I just got bored at times, and there was just a lot of unnecessary information for me. I don't care about their families and all. I don't care about their exes. So I thought a lot of the information from the flashbacks was unnecessary. So I could live without them. But let us know what you guys thought of the flashbacks. I would like to know. Stevie said, I personally love the dual timelines, but I think a big part of that is because I really love reading romances about women's careers. So I loved reading about how she got her job. Yeah, like I think that is interesting. I'm just such a romance person. I just like want to know all about the romance and like the characters.
I've heard her books are more women's fiction than romance.
Yeah.
I got that vibe
for
from
sure.
Beach Read.
Yes, I think that's the problem is like I'm reading her books kind of expecting them to be a romance, but they're not really. They're more women's fiction. So I think that's my problem. Like I'm all about the romance. Like you guys, if you read The Hating Game, you know how well done that book was. Like
it was such a good like slow burn romance.
It was a slow burn, but it was like all about the main characters. There wasn't all this description about like their exes and like things that don't matter. It was like about the two of them.
I don't really like
and their story. That's what I like personally.
I don't really like when stuff talks about like an ex that much.
Exactly.
Either. Like I don't care about
exactly. And you guys know, like in this book, Poppy just constantly brings up Alex's ex, and I just like got irritated with that. Like
that would drive me crazy.
Yeah, just things like that don't really matter. Like I don't really care about their exes and all that. I just want to see like them together. You know what I mean? And like moving forward and furthering their connection. That's what I care about. I don't really care about the family and like the past issues and like the past drama because I like to look forward and not back. That is just me. So I could have lived without them. But I understand if you guys did like the flashbacks. Sarah said, I like flashbacks, so I enjoyed it. I like to see behind the characters and relationships. Yeah, I completely agree. Like, I typically like flashbacks in books. I just feel like for me, there were too many or something, maybe. Like, maybe, like, too much of the book was spent in the past. I think if the more of the book was, like, in the present, I probably would have liked it more. But I understand where you're coming from. Usually I don't love that, though. Like, I don't really do second chance romances, which this borderline is. Oh, see, yeah, Stevie, that's where we're different because I love second chance romance. That is one of my favorite tropes. But I completely understand where you're coming from. That's different for me. I love reading about their family, friends, careers. I know some people don't love Emily Henry because of, yeah, like don't get me wrong. Like I'm not a selfish person. Like oh, I never want to hear about someone's family or, I'm not a selfish person in that way. It's just like, I'm just all about the romance. So I want more information about the characters falling in love, basically, in like the present time versus hearing all about like their brothers and their sisters and their parents. And like, I just think Emily Henry's writing for me is too descriptive at times with like the past where it gets to the point where I just kind of want to skim some of it to get back to like the main characters. But that is just how I feel. But I did like hearing like the history of like how she got her career and things like that for sure. But yeah, I think you're so right. Why some people don't like Emily Henry. She's just too descriptive at times for my liking. But if you like that, then great. I like more like when books have more dialogue than like description, if that makes sense. And I had the same problem with Beach Read. There was so much description that I ended up like skimming it. I'm like, I don't care. Like moving on. Everyone's different though, so I understand where you're coming from. But yeah, that is definitely just like my personal dislike about Emily Henry's books.
Oh, for Beach Read, I read like 130 pages.
Yeah.
And she kept like going on and on.
Yep.
About like her family, and I'm like at that point I was like almost halfway through. I was like I don't care.
Right.
Like stop talking about your family.
Right. Like I think she just goes into too much detail sometimes, if that makes sense. To the point where I end up like losing interest and then I end up skimming to like the love story. But her books are more women's fiction. I think that's the problem. I'm like expecting them to read like a romance, and that's not going to be the case. It's not going to be like The Hating Game, which is actually a romance-centered story. I just love reading books where the romance is the main theme.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care as much about like the rest, so I'm definitely in the minority in that way. So I completely agree with like the side of not loving Emily Henry's writing, but I'm really glad that it works for you. I didn't care too much about who they'd been with in the past either. Yeah, like I just don't care. Like if you say a little bit, okay, sure, no problem because we need to know like a little bit about where they came from, why they are who they are in relationships and like kind of like what happened to them with their exes, but it's just like I don't want to hear in detail about the exes. Like, they didn't work out for a reason, and they're not relevant to the story of two characters falling in love. Like, why do we need to hear about the exes in detail? I just don't like it with, like, how they brought up Guillermo and, like, Sarah. And it's just, like, it was just, like, too much when, like, Poppy just constantly asked about his ex. Like, I thought that was just weird and, like, too much. Like, I just don't care at the end of the day.
I remember reading reviews on Goodreads, and people were like, "Why was she so obsessed with his ex?"
I know, yeah, and she does explain it later on in the book why she was obsessed with his ex, but and they end up getting along. Like in the beginning, like Sarah, I think her name was, she hates Poppy, and then they end up like getting along in the end. But it's just like I don't really care. I'm sorry, like I'm the kind of person where I just care about the main characters. If you want to give these side characters a story, give them a separate book. You know what I mean? Like, make it a companion series and give them their own book. Like, give Alex's ex her own book with her own love story. Kind of like Abby Jimenez does with, like, the Friend Zone series. Each couple has their own book. That's what I like. So then you can read about whichever characters you're interested in. But in this book, I just wasn't a fan of like her going on and on about Sarah and the exes and all that. It's like I just don't care at the end of the day. It's not relevant to the present time and like where the characters are going, if that makes sense, in my opinion. I think I like seeing exes because of the pining. I love drama. And I totally understand. Like Hallmark does this too. Like in the third act conflict for the movie, like to bring in conflict, they'll bring like the ex back and the ex like wants them back. Like I understand that as like a third act conflict for like a little bit of the book. I don't have a problem with that. But like I said, in this book, the ex was mentioned like so much. Like it was just like who cares in my opinion. Like it was just way too much. It's like why do you want me to care about the ex so much? And like something Emily Henry does with her books that Steph and I don't like is she did this with Beach Read too. Is where like one of the characters is like considering going back to their ex. We do not like that plot, and Emily Henry does that a lot because that just doesn't make sense. It's like you're trying to sell us on this couple in this relationship, but then they're considering going back to their ex. Like she did that with Beach Read, and it just doesn't make any sense. Like I'm not a fan of it as a huge conflict. No. I just think it's too much. But I love pining in books. I know what you're saying there. Yeah, I just think it was too much in this book, in particular with the ex. I got you, Stacey. Agree. It's not 100% romance. Yeah, no, and that's my problem. Like I said, because it's not romance, it's more women's fiction. So that is my problem with Emily Henry. I'm expecting them to read like a romance, and that's my problem because that's not right. So that is my problem. It's not Emily Henry's fault or anything. And feel free to have your own opinions. Again, we're just expressing our opinions. But I just need to remember her books are not like labeled romance exactly. So, but I'm glad that you can understand where I'm coming from. The next question is, do you think Poppy and Alex have chemistry? Yes or no? Let us know in the chat. So we kind of talked about this already. So for me, in the beginning, I was not buying it. I thought they had absolutely zero chemistry. I was like, I have no idea how she's gonna get them together. Like I said, I thought Alex hated her. And he was like repulsed by her and just like get away from me. That was the vibe I got from him. And a lot of the negative reviews on Goodreads said that That's why they didn't like it, because they thought that they had zero chemistry because they're just so different from each other. So if you asked me this question in the beginning of the book, I would have said absolutely not. They have zero chemistry, but then as you read later in the book, they started to develop a nice chemistry. So I think towards the middle to the end, yes, I do think they had really good chemistry, but in the beginning, I would say no, they did not. Let us know what you think. Sarah said later on, yes, I think they have chemistry. Yeah, see, I think you agreed with me. It was kind of like it took time to get there. It wasn't there from the start, at least not to me. Like their banter in the beginning was different than later in the book. I could definitely say that they don't have much chemistry at the beginning. Yeah. I think Alex keeps his emotions really close to his chest. Yeah, exactly. And like he had like his own issues in the book. They both end up going to therapy at some point because they both had issues. He had a lot of issues with his family, because like he lost his mom at a young age and things like that. So yeah, okay, so we definitely all agree. So they did not have chemistry at first, and then it kind of builds later on. But I'm glad Emily Henry developed the chemistry later on, because if she didn't, I probably would not have liked the book, if I'm being honest. Next question is, would you read this book again? Stevie, feel free to respond, but I already know your answer to this because you've already read it a second time. This was your second time reading it. So for me, honestly, I probably won't read it again because, like I've mentioned earlier, I don't reread many books. They have to really stand out to me, like The Hating Game. The Hating Game is like on a pedestal that nothing else can meet.
Yep.
For both of us.
Well, I think I've been so disappointed in romances lately.
Yeah, like we were both in reading slumps after we finished The Hating Game. So be warned, if you read The Hating Game, you're probably going to be in a reading slump with romance. After nothing is comparable to that one. That is a book I would reread a million times. But like I mentioned, with Emily Henry's books, I don't love them. So I would only read a book again if I loved it. So because I really liked this book, but I didn't love it, I don't see myself reading it again. Just because there's so many books to read in the world. And like I said, it didn't stand out to me as one of my favorites. So I'm going to say no, I probably would not read this again. And same thing with Beach Read. I would not read it again, but I liked it while I read it. Let us know what you thought.
According to Goodreads, I read The Hating Game 6 years ago.
Oh, nice.
It's been a long time.
Stevie said this is making me realize how much her books are about how families shape who you become. Yeah, that's definitely true because there's always like family plots and elements in her books. You're definitely right about that, Stevie, for sure. Sarah said I don't think I'd read it again. Yeah, agreed. Same as me. Stevie, I do think I would actually reread it again because you already did. This was your second time. So I'm glad to hear that you liked it enough to reread it. So me and Sarah say no, and Stevie says yes. Interesting. Next question. I'm trying to move along because we're already an hour in. So I apologize if anyone needs to head out. Feel free to come back and catch the replay. But if not, feel free to stay here with us a little bit longer. We're having a blast. And we've just prepared a lot of questions, but if you have to head out early, we understand. The next question is, did you like the pacing and the writing style? And I kind of answered this already. So for the most part, I liked the pacing. Like I mentioned, I struggled in the beginning to get through the beginning. I think when I got to like 100 pages in, that was when it started to get better. I try not to give up on books until I hit like 100 pages because that's usually where I can determine whether I want to keep reading or not. So I think the pacing was kind of slow in the beginning and then it picked up. And like I mentioned with the writing style, I'm not the biggest Emily Henry fan in terms of her writing because I'm not a fan of like the descriptive writing where it's more tell not show, where you're just talking about like their family and all the other things that I don't care as much about. So I'm not in love with Emily Henry's writing. I like it. I just don't love it. So those are my answers. Steph, want to share yours?
I already said that I don't like her writing style at all.
Yeah.
I can't really explain why. It just annoyed me.
Yeah, it's just like not for everyone. Some people love it, some people don't. Stevie said, I would reread this one in Book Lovers, but not her other two. Interesting. Thanks for sharing. I would reread it. I love that. Love it. So good. The pacing and writing was pretty good for me. Awesome. I'm glad that you liked it, Sarah, and I'm sure Stevie does as well. I'm a broken record. Loved it. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Moving on to the next question, we have, do you think the title and the cover represented the book well? Because the reason I thought of this question is because I did not think this for Beach Read. A lot of people I think agree for Beach Read. I do not understand the title or the cover because it's not a beach read in my opinion. It's too dark for a beach read, and the cover made no sense because they were like never on the beach. So I do not understand beach read, the cover or title at all. I don't think it went well with the book. So I wanted to ask you guys what you thought for this book. So here's the cover. For me, I really like the cover. I think it's adorable. I think the cover goes very well with the vibe of the book, with it being vacation. So I really, really like the cover. I think they did a great job. However, I'm not a huge fan of the title because it's just not what I think of when I think of the book. People we meet on vacation. Like, I understand I think the meaning, this could be wrong, but my interpretation of the title is because in the book, Poppy says that she discovers the reason why she loves to travel is because of the people she meets on vacation. So I get that's where the title came from. But for me, with like the romantic part of the story, I don't really think the title is that great. I think the UK title for the
Makes
UK
way more sense.
Yeah, the UK title, if you didn't know, is called You and Me on Vacation, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I think makes so much more sense because, the premise of the book is her and Alex on vacation. So I think that title is so much better than People We Meet on Vacation. I think People We Meet on Vacation is just too generic. I think You and Me on Vacation makes so much more sense with her and Alex. So let us know your thoughts. Yes, the British title is so much better. Exactly. You read my mind. Thank you, Stevie. Yes, You and Me on Vacation is just so much better.
Yep.
And you guys, have you seen those covers for like the British or UK versions? They're so pretty. They're like different pastels. I just love them. But yeah, I completely agree, Stevie. You took the words completely out of my mouth, so thank you. I think You and Me on Vacation, it makes so much more sense. This book is barely about who they meet on vacation. Yes, exactly. Like they have those encounters with like the other newlywed couple that they meet, but it's like it's mostly just about them two. It's not really about them meeting other people. So that's why I was thinking the title just came from Poppy when she says like that's her favorite part about traveling is like the people you meet. But I'm like, who did you really meet? Like you were mostly with Alex. So it doesn't really make sense to me. So I'm glad that you agree.
Yeah, no, people said for Beach Read that it has like alternate endings based on
that's true.
Based on what copy you get. Like I think people said the UK version had a different ending.
Interesting. That makes more sense. Sarah said not really. They were not relaxing on the beach, chilling. It was more chaotic than that. I know now that
whoever who designed it or did marketing.
Now that you mention it, you're right. They weren't. They did lay by the pool like a little bit, but it wasn't like a ton. But Alex does have his book, so I think that's perfect. But you are right. Like most of the time, they were not really laying on the beach or anything like that. Yeah, so I don't really understand Emily Henry's thoughts behind her titles and her covers. They're a mystery, but I had to hear your thoughts, and I'm glad that you guys agree. They met some people on vacation, but I think it was less about that. Exactly. That was not like the premise of the book. Yes, that's why I think You and Me on Vacation is such a better title for sure. The cover did make me want to pick it up, though. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I'm always sucked in by a cute cover. the book cover definitely does make you want to read it. I think if somebody wasn't a reader and they just looked at it at a bookstore, I think they would definitely want to pick it up for sure. I know I would, just from the cover. I think it's super cute. I think the cover designer did a really great job. Good question. Oh, thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you guys for participating in the chat and answering our questions. We appreciate it. And Steph, did you agree about the title and the cover?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely misleading.
This is the question where Steph will shine. So, next question we have is there anything you did not like about the book? If so, tell us what and why. So, I already kind of explained this. I didn't like the beginning. I didn't like they had no chemistry in the beginning, and how the book started was kind of strange. I did not love the writing style. I did not love the flashbacks. And what was the other thing? I didn't like the description with like the stories with like the X and like all of that. So I did not like a few of those things. Let us know if there's anything you didn't like. Steph, did you want to explain any more? I know you already kind of explained it.
The writing style.
Mm-hmm.
The writing style. The writing style I didn't like.
It's definitely hit or miss.
She was too out there for me. Like,
yeah, the writing was strange at times.
Like the scene we talked about before, when they're at the bar,
mm-hmm.
and she just like goes up to him and he's like reading a book on his phone.
Yeah,
and she's like, "Hey, Tiger." Like,
yeah, that was strange. Like funny but strange at the same time.
It just like it irritated me. I don't know if it was the writing style or Poppy's personality I don't like. She's too out there for me. Like,
yeah,
and the dialogue,
she's crazy.
I did not like the dialogue at all. It's really weird. Like,
yeah,
I was telling Stacey, I was like, who talks like that?
I know.
Like the way she talks to him. I thought it was so weird.
Yeah, and like I said,
I didn't like her character.
And you only read like the beginning of the book, so guys, she only read the parts that like we didn't like. So she only read the beginning. So I thought the dialogue was very, very strange in the beginning. I can't think of any examples right now. I should have wrote some down, but there were just some really weird references that Poppy makes, and I'm just like, what is she talking about? Like, so yeah, I think it was more in the beginning. I think like the writing got better later into the book, but the beginning was just so strange. Like a lot of the things that she said, I was like reading the phrases out loud.
Like, who talks like that? Like,
yeah, I was like reading phrases out loud to Steph, and I was like, who talks like this? Like, what is she talking about? It was so weird at times. The part with the Mike Wazowski scene, it was I actually laughed when like they were pretending to fake date, and they told the couple that they met at Disneyland, and Poppy was dressed up as Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc. And when like the other guy they were talking to was like, or Alex said like he fell in love with her and then the other guy they were talking to was like, you fell in love with her while she was wearing the costume. And then Poppy says, hey, I have really great legs. I thought that was super funny, but that was pretty strange too. Like, hey, I have really great legs. Like, she's just so out there.
I normally hate judging a second book by an author if I didn't like another one by them, but
yeah,
since I got about halfway through Beach Read and I DNF'd it because I just like lost interest, didn't like the writing style, couldn't connect to the characters at all. They were too one-dimensional for me. Like, since it didn't get better for me after reading like half of the book, I had a feeling that I was gonna feel the same way for People and Me on Vacation, which is also why I chose to DNF it so early on, because I just had that feeling that I wasn't gonna like it like Beach Read. Or else I probably would have kept going if this was my first book from her. But since I didn't care for Beach Read, it kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. So I was like, well, this feels a lot like how I felt for Beach Read. So yeah, that's why I ended up putting this one down after only reading like 30 pages.
I'm curious to see though if you kept going, if you would have liked it more, because in the beginning, I was like ready to DNF it, and then I kept going and it got better. So I'm curious if you like continued it, if you probably would have liked it more, but I don't know if you would have loved it either.
I was just thinking that I should have tried the audiobook after DNFing the physical copy.
That's true.
Because if I listened to the audiobook, maybe I would have liked it, but oh well.
That's true. Yes, I do have great legs. That that part made me laugh out loud. That scene was really funny. That was probably one of the best scenes in the book. That was like super funny and I didn't expect it. That was so hilarious.
But honestly, like when it comes to like the main protagonist, like Poppy, like I feel like in books I don't normally like when the main character is like outgoing either. Like
really out there, yeah.
Yeah, I'm so used to reading protagonists that are more like on the introverted side, like us.
Yeah.
Like someone that I can relate to. So I feel like that's a personal thing for me. I don't really like reading protagonists that are really out there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly how Poppy was.
Yeah.
I feel like for Betrayed, I was able to relate more to January.
Yeah.
She was a lot more relatable for me.
Definitely.
But I still like couldn't connect to her and Gus at all. It was just like they felt one-dimensional. But yeah, Poppy was too out there for me.
Yeah.
So I didn't like her. I didn't like her writing or like her like point of view.
Yeah, I agree with you for the most part. Nothing too big about the book I didn't like. I could do without some of the drinking and swearing. Not a big deal. Oh yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Sarah. I saw that in your review and I agreed. Yeah, you guys know we're Christians, so we don't really drink or swear. So I could have done without that. But I give Emily Henry credit because you guys know for like the love scenes, she kept them very clean for the most part and pretty classy. I wasn't expecting that. I thought the love scenes were going to be very like graphic and steamy like other books, but Emily Henry kept it very classy and pretty clean. So I do really like that she did that, but I agree, Sarah. I could have done without the drinking. A lot of it was like in the flashbacks and the swearing, but the swearing honestly wasn't as bad as other books that I've read. So I completely agree. I agree. The first part was harder to get into. I think everybody, kind of agreed. And I just thought of another question. It's up to you guys if you want to answer it. I kind of just answered it with the I do have great legs. But if any of you have like a favorite quote from the book or anything that you want to share, let us know. Or like a favorite scene. I would love to know if you think of anything. I forgot to mention that, but I loved the Mike Wazowski scene. I thought that was super, super funny.
Yeah, I think I said this before. I'm also that kind of person. Well, I mean, you guys know I DNF a lot. I would say I DNF a lot of books. Yeah. But I'm the kind of person where I can tell if I'm gonna like a book by like the first couple of chapters.
Mm-hmm. Same.
So when I was reading the first couple of chapters for this book, I was just like, nope, I'm not liking this. But yeah, I just had that feeling because I can usually tell.
It's fine. Yeah, the love scenes are pretty good. I appreciate that. Yeah, I was kind of thinking they were gonna be more like if you've read Tessa Bailey, hers are very steamy, and I don't usually like that. So I was very pleasantly surprised with this book that she kept it pretty low key. You knew that they were going to hook up at some point, physically, but I think Emily Henry did a really nice job of it. I feel like if she made it too graphic, it would have just gotten like trashy. So she kept it really sweet between them, which I appreciated for sure.
Oh my gosh, like
I do love that Emily Henry isn't raunchy. Yes, I give her a lot of credit for that for sure. Because I don't like raunchy.
Like, oh my gosh, the book I'm editing right now for my client, it's a paranormal romance. Oh my gosh. I was reading through it yesterday. And like there was a sex scene that was literally like 10 pages. I thought it was like way too much.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of authors like Tessa Bailey do that. Like,
yeah.
It was like long.
Unnecessary. Exactly. When Alex gives Poppy the beads off the floor in New Orleans, good intent, but love that Poppy says it's kind of gross from the floor, which she was surprised Alex didn't notice. Yeah, I really liked that scene. I agree. I thought that was a sweet scene. But at the same time, I'm glad the love scenes were there because I didn't love that was totally missing in Betrayed. That's true. I didn't even think about that, how Betrayed didn't have any love scenes. That's a good point. But yeah, I think in this book it was appropriate because, they've known each other for so long and they were definitely physically attracted to each other when that chemistry developed. So I think it was like a natural progression and it was appropriate for this book. But I'm just really glad, like I said, that she kept him clean. So I completely agree. Like, I think it was fine that the love scenes were in this one. I don't think they're essential in every romance, but they did contribute to like their chemistry and like their closeness in this one for sure.
She probably, I was just thinking, she probably kept Beachweed clean because that was like her transition from YA to adult.
That's true, because she used to write YA books, yeah.
I used to own 2 of her YA books, and I got rid of them like maybe like a year ago, which is kind of funny. But yeah, she used to write YA before writing adult.
Absolutely.
So that's probably why Beachweed was clean, because that was her like transition.
That's true. I never thought of it that way. Really showed his care for her, I think. Agreed. Yeah, and it it showed like they really did have chemistry. Because with like, when they were like, oh, like you're the best I've ever had. I feel like that's kind of cliche when people say like you're the best hookup I ever had. But for them, I like that happened that way, because it shows that they were compatible and had chemistry.
Was it the virgin trope?
No.
I'm so sick of that.
Nope, they weren't virgins. I know. But yeah, I think Emily Henry did a great job. So I give her props for the way she did the love scenes. She did a great job, and she just kept it super classy for the book. Paranormal romance is a whole different breed. Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Exactly. Moving on to the next question. I think I know what the answer is going to be, but I have to ask because that's the theme of this book. Are you a fan of the friends to lovers romance trope?
Yes.
Let us know. We love it.
It's one of my favorites.
It's one of our favorites. Like, you guys know us. We love very traditional tropes in romance. Very old school, clean tropes. Friends to lovers is one of our all-time favorites. There's just something about it. I don't even know how to explain why I love it so much. It's just so cute because the characters already know each other, so it's so easy for them to take the next step and to date and everything since they're already comfortable with each other.
Yep.
I just love friends to lovers, and I feel like it's not really done enough in romance, at least adult romance. I want to read more. If you guys have any recommendations for good friends to lovers romance books, please let us know in the chat.
Oh, that's why I loved Romance as a Bonus book. I have to mention it because I know Stevie's watching it.
Yes, our K-drama show.
I love it. I love it so much because it's friends to lovers, and that's one of my favorite tropes.
It's the best. Yes, we love it.
I also love fake dating. Those are my 2.
And that is what made me want to read this book, because when I heard it was friends to lovers, I'm like, yes, give it to me. I need it now. Yes, I figured you would like it, Sarah. Amazing. I do. I like it, but I'm also an enemies to lovers girly. Me too. Yes, both are great. Exactly. We love enemies to lovers, same exact thing, which, the hating game vibes. We love both. They're both great. Yes, I love how clueless she is. I know, like, really. I feel like that's always done, where, like, one of them is, like, so clueless that the other one likes them. Romance as a Bonus book really does that. Like,
which one is she talking about?
I think Romance is a Bonus book. It's
oh my gosh, it's hilarious.
How does she not know he likes her? Like, it's so obvious. I love how clueless people can be, for sure.
Steve, I forgot. I think I told you, right, that the male actor, the lead.
Yeah.
Did I tell you that he has a crush on her in real life?
I think you did.
I think I told you that. I'm like, you can tell just from his acting. Like, it's so cute.
Yes.
Yeah, she's so clueless, but it's so funny.
Love it. The next question is... Oh, hold on. We have a comment. I am that girl. I have no clue people are into me. That's okay, Stevie. Honestly, I'd probably be the same way. But it's kind of like when you're watching someone else. You're like, oh my gosh, it's so obvious, right? But like when it's you, it's not so obvious, I guess. It's so funny. You did. So cute. Yes, it's absolutely adorable.
Oh, yeah, speaking of that show, do you guys like love triangles? I love them.
We do.
I want to know your opinion.
We love triangles, yes.
Because that show also has a love triangle,
mm-hmm.
which I think was really well done.
Yeah, we really like it. We really like them, I should say. They're always very fun. And also, the next question is, you guys have kind of already answered this, and we have too, but have you read any other Emily Henry books? So for me, I read Beach Read. That's the only other book I read from her. Again, pretty much had the same feelings as I did about this one. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I liked it. I didn't love it. So I do want to read her other books. And same for you. Steph started Beach Read.
Read half of it.
She read half of it, and then she put
Yep.
Beach Read down. Let us know if you have read her other books, and so which ones.
I might still try Book Lovers because
Yeah.
isn't the main guy, I think he's a book editor, right? So I'm really interested in reading that one.
Yeah,
so
I really want
to
to
give it a try.
I really want to read Book Lovers because we actually have it, so we need to read it because I've heard a lot of people say that's their favorite Emily Henry book. A lot of people have different opinions, but I think I've heard that the most. Like that one's a lot of people's favorites. Stevie said I'm obsessed with love triangles. Yes.
Yes.
You're very similar to us. And Sarah likes them too. Awesome. Sarah said I read Book Lovers, gave it 3 out of... Okay, interesting. Yeah. I'm curious to see what we think. We have not read Book Lovers yet. I think we'll probably like it. But yeah, we've only read Beach Read. 3 out of 5. Oh yeah, no worries. Thank you for sharing. And going along with that question, if you liked them, which you said you guys did, which is your favorite book you've read from her? So I've only read People We Meet on Vacation and Beach Read, so I would say this is my favorite so far. I like this better than Beach Read. Let us know what your favorite Emily Henry book is. Stevie says Book Lovers is my absolute favorite, but definitely keep in mind there's a lot of emphasis on the family too. Okay. Thank you, because I'll know that going into it. I just need to change my expectations, that's all. So, but yeah, so many people have said Book Lovers is their favorite, so I'm really interested to see what I think. I think I'm going to like that one better, and Steph probably will too.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've heard that is so many people's favorite, for sure. The main girl in Book Lovers is basically based on what it would be like to see the story of the woman who got rejected for the one in a rom-com. Really? Ooh, that's really fun. Yeah, it sounds like a really, really fun read. We're excited to read. I'm hoping to read it this summer. We also have Happy Place on Kindle. So I bought it because it was on sale recently in the Kindle store. So I bought it digitally. So we have both of her other books to read. They are on my summer TBR. So I'm putting up a summer TBR video on our channel soon. So stay tuned. Probably next Friday. But yeah, her other books are on my summer TBR. I would like to read them soon. So we will see if that happens. I've only read those two, but I like People I Meet on Vacation more. The Sister and Book Lovers annoyed me, but I only listened to the audio. Okay. Interesting, Sarah. Thanks for sharing your opinion. We will keep an eye out for the sister in the book when we read it. I'm glad to hear that you like People We Meet on Vacation the most. Everyone's opinion is so different. I've heard a lot of people say Book Lovers is their favorite, and then I've heard some people say People We Meet on Vacation is. So it's interesting how everyone has a different opinion. She's like the typical rom-com villain. I love her. Ooh, I'm excited to read it now. Thanks for sharing. Oops. I like seeing a different main character from Book Lovers. Okay, cool. Awesome. We're excited to read it. Hi, Mom. Our mom just joined to say hi. Welcome to our book club chat. Only a couple questions left, guys. Thank you for hanging in there. I told you we prepared a lot of questions, so I hope you don't mind. Thank you for being here this long. We really appreciate it. We could chat with you guys all day, every day. So thank you so much for being here and for answering the questions. We have 2 more left. The next question is, which of Emily Henry's books, if any, have you not read yet? So we kind of already talked about this. Are there any books from her you guys have not read? For both of us, again, we have not read Book Lovers or Happy Place.
So her two, yeah, her new
The other two. Yep. Book Lovers and Happy Place are on our TBRs. Let us know if there's any you have not read from her. But you've already read like a lot of them, I'm sure. Oh, Stevie, you're so nice to say hi. Our mom's very supportive, which is very sweet. We're grateful for her. Sarah said, Beach Read, Happy Place, her YA books. Oh yeah, that too. I have not read any of her YA books either. I don't know if I will, to be honest.
They're very different from her adult books. Like,
yeah,
they're more like magical realism.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure if I would ever read them.
I used to own them, then I got rid of them.
I remember you used to have. Did you have all of them or one?
I had two. I had The Love That Split the World and then A Million Junes.
Okay. Oh, I forgot that one.
She also wrote another one. I always forgot the name of it. Yeah, she wrote like several YA books.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever get to the YA ones. I've been getting back into YA books recently since the Dystopian Readathon. By the way, just put a vlog up today. Definitely check it out on our channel if you missed it today. It's a long vlog, but it was super fun. We filmed a Dystopian Readathon reading vlog. Definitely check it out on our channel if you guys missed it today. We posted it today. But yeah, ever since that readathon, we've been getting back into YA more. Stevie said, I haven't read the YA books. I don't know. Yeah, same, exactly. I just don't know. Like, I think I just kind of associate her now with adult, so I don't know how I would feel about reading her YA books. I just don't really see it happening. I'm not opposed to it, but I don't think they interest me enough. And since Steph had them and got rid of them, that kind of just tells me what I need to know. I trust Steph's opinion because we typically have the same taste. So if she gets rid of something for the most part, I'll just kind of disregard it.
I think I started. I remember I started reading The Love That Split the World, and I didn't care for it. It was like kind of strange. It started off something about.
I remember the cover.
It was like a grandmother that could like see a ghost. Like it was weird.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I just don't see it happening. Just like Stevie said, exactly. I have nothing against her other books. I think it's cool that she switched genres. She's definitely more successful writing adult, for sure. I think she blew up as an adult author. So props to her for making the switch. But yeah, I just don't see myself getting around to reading her YA books, even though I'm sure that they're pretty good too. Last question we have for tonight is do you have any recommendations for other books that you think are similar to people we meet on vacation that you think any of us would enjoy? Do you have any similar recommendations for someone to read next if they liked this book? I don't know if you guys can think of anything. It's kind of a hard question to answer, but if you can come up with an answer, let us know in the chat. Obviously, of course, we would suggest any one of Emily Henry's other books, probably, because for the most part, if you like a book from an author, you'd probably like their other books. So we would recommend, of course, like her other books. Like we were talking about earlier, it's not exactly like this book. It's very different, but The Hating Game by Sally Thorne is our all-time favorite book. Best romance book we've ever read, and Stevie agrees. And it has a lot of similar elements because it has like really good banter between the characters, just like this one. We definitely recommend it. If you want another Friends to Lovers romance, it's from the same author who wrote The Hating Game. She wrote more books. So she has a book called 99% Mine. She wrote it after The Hating Game. Let us know if you read it. So 99% Mine by Sally Thorne is a good recommendation if you like the Friends to Lovers trope like this. So that is one that we recommend. If you have any recommendations, let us know for like similar books in the chat.
If I want to recommend a TV show?
Yeah.
If you like
or a TV show, anything.
If you like something set in the summer with romance and family drama, you have to watch the Hallmark show Chesapeake Shores. It's one of our favorites.
That's a good one.
It's one of our favorite shows. It is so good.
Yeah, Stevie, I feel like you would like it since you've been getting into Hallmark. Yeah, Chesapeake Shores is amazing. They ended the show last year. Last summer was the last season. The first 4 seasons are definitely the best. They did two more seasons with different writers, and they're not the same. But if you watch seasons 1 through 4, it's a very good show. We bought the show on Amazon. You can watch it on Amazon Video. You can buy the seasons. I think it's on Hallmark Movies now. Anywhere you watch Hallmark, you should be able to find it. They don't play it on Hallmark Channel, unfortunately. I wish they did. But Chesapeake Shores is a great Hallmark show.
And it's based on a book series, too.
It was a book series by Cheryl Woods. You guys probably know who she is. She's a big adult romance writer. I love her books. I read the first book for the series, and I really liked it. I need to read the others. It's a long series. But yeah, they made a TV show out of it, and we absolutely love it. Hallmark did a great job. But seasons 1 through 4 are the best.
Yep.
And the main love story between Trace and Abby, the two characters, is friends to lovers because they grew up together as children and they were high school sweethearts. And then it's kind of about like second chance romance with them reconnecting and kind of getting back together later in life in their 30s. So it's friends to lovers and second chance romance. Again, if you're like us and you like the traditional tropes, we definitely recommend Chesapeake Shores.
The whole show is about like 5. It's about a family of like 5 siblings.
Yeah, it's about like a family where they were close growing up. The parents got divorced and the family kind of broke up. The kids grew up and they all went their separate ways and they all moved to different places and have different lives and different careers. And then one summer they all come back to like the family's beach house. They reconnect with each other. They like strengthen their relationship again, and then the kids, they're grown. They all decide to move back home to the parents' house, and the parents reconnect. It's a really good show. It takes place in the summers, so you get to see their lives in the beach house throughout the summer. It's so good. We highly recommend it. If you want a good TV show.
One of the characters, her name is Bree. She's my favorite. She's a writer, and she owns a bookstore in town.
Yeah, it's
for
cute.
all the book lovers out there, you would love her character.
Yes, absolutely. We highly recommend Chesapeake Shores. If you can find it.
One of our all-time favorite shows to watch in the summer.
You could definitely watch it on Amazon Video. I don't know if you can find it anywhere else, but we definitely recommend it. And Stevie recommended Taylor Jenkins Reid, like maybe another life. Oh, okay. I've never read any books by her. I know a lot of people love them. We need to read Daisy Jones soon. That is on our TBR. So thank you, Stevie. I need to look that one up actually. Steph, do you know that book?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to read it?
I don't know. I mean, I was never like, oh, I need to read all of her books.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
I know a lot of people like it.
I like the cover. It looks pretty good. It has pretty good reviews. Let's see. But yeah, we've never read a book from her yet. Oh yeah, I'm gonna add it to my Amazon wish list. It looks really good. Thank you for the recommendation, Stevie. We always like to share recommendations and get them because it's so much fun to recommend books to each other. They are romance-centric, but more so women's fiction. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. I haven't read these yet, but some other books I want to read are Malibu Rising and Every Summer After. Same, Sarah, same. Everyone's been reading those. Definitely want to read them too. We actually have Every Summer After right here on our book cart. That is definitely on our summer TBR. So I would love to read Every Summer After in July. If anyone wants to buddy read it, let us know. We could do a buddy read on Discord. Because we have not read it. It's so hyped up. I really hope I like it because it's extremely hyped up, as you guys know. So I really want to read Every Summer After in July. And I do want to read Malibu Rising as well because a lot of people have said some pretty good things about it. So I completely agree with you there. And those are really good recommendations. Thank you for sharing. I feel like Every Summer After would be similar. I haven't read that one yet. Yeah, that's a great recommendation. Thanks for sharing. We should all buddy read it together.
We own it. It's like gorgeous.
Yeah, we have it right here. We should it's under a pile of books, but we should definitely buddy read it. Let us know if you'd want to buddy read it and we can set it up in Discord maybe. We were actually going to suggest it for like one of the book club picks. I forgot why we didn't end up doing it for July, but let us know if you would want to buddy read it or read it together for like maybe August for the book club or something. Let us know because it sounds like none of us have read it. So that would be a fun one to read together. So let us know if you're interested in reading it, and we'll set that up. Looks like my library has the show. Cool. Oh, really? So you can like borrow it and watch it? I never thought of checking the library, Sarah. That's such a good idea. Yes, definitely recommend it. I'd love to read every summer after whenever. Awesome. Do you already own the book?
I know she read.
Would you have to get it?
She read Meet Me at the Lake, right?
Oh yeah, Sarah, that's right. You read Meet Me at the Lake, right? Refresh our memory. I think you read that one first, didn't you? But do any of you guys own Every Summer After, or do you not own it yet? Let us know, because that we can definitely do either a buddy read or read it for the book club. I think that would be so much fun. Sarah said I read. Yes, I did read Meet Me at the Lake first. Yeah, that's different because I think most people read Every Summer After first. So I want to read that one too. I know it has very, very mixed reviews, but I'm the kind of person where I don't listen to reviews. I like to make my own opinion because I usually have a different opinion than most people. So if other people don't like a book, I usually will end up liking it. So I still want to read Meet Me at the Lake. I can easily get Every Summer After from Libby. Oh, that's awesome. I feel like if I looked from our library or something, it would have so many holds on it because it's such a popular book. But yeah, we would love to set that up. We'll talk about that in Discord, whether we want to do a buddy read or what. We're doing a buddy read with Stevie on her Discord for July. We're going to read a cozy mystery together. So we're very excited about that, but we can set up a buddy read for Every Summer After if we want to, or we can do it for book club, maybe for August or something.
I was just going to say, can we make a Discord for, well, a section in our Discord for buddy reads specifically?
Did I make one? I might have made one already. I think I did. My library just got a bunch of
buddy read book ideas.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, we do have a section, a thread under our Discord called Buddy Read Book Recs, I think, where we kind of have been talking about buddy reads. So we'll definitely chat about Every Summer After in there. And I know Stevie was talking about buddy reading XOXO as well. So we'll keep that in mind. We'll coordinate that, and we'll see if you guys want to buddy read Every Summer After in maybe July or read it for the book club in August. We will see. But that is all the questions we had for our People Who've Been on Vacation book chat tonight. Thank you so much for participating and answering. If you have any other questions or thoughts to share, anything else you want to say, feel free to put it in the chat. But this was so much fun. This was our first time for our first month of the book club. We're going to do these every single month, usually the last Friday of the month. But July might be different because we might be going on vacation the last week of July. So we'll keep you guys posted on that. Keep up with our Instagram and our Discord, and we'll give you the updates. But we're thinking we might need to move up the book chat for July a week earlier. So it might be the 3rd week of July instead of the 4th week. But yeah, we're really looking forward to it. And it got really dark. We apologize, but this is our July book club pick if you missed it. We're reading Love in Other Words from Christina Lauren. We're so excited about it. We have 2 copies, so this was perfect. We're glad you guys voted for this one. And it won.
I've had that book for years. It's such a long
Steph's
time.
had it forever, and we love Christina Lauren. We've read so many of their books. We cannot wait to read this. I don't know much about it, but I've heard it's second chance romance, so I'm very, very excited. We love their writing. This is Steph's copy. She has the old copy, and then I have the newer copy with the new cover. It's like blush pink, and I actually found it in a little free library, so that was super lucky. So we both have our own physical copy, but this is our July book pick. We're very excited to read this with you guys. We're glad it won the vote. But yeah, we can't wait to do our book chat next month in July. We'll keep you guys updated about the dates and everything and when we're going to do our reading sprints and everything. So make sure you're subscribed here following us on Instagram, and you join our Discord, all the links are always in our description box for you because you want to stay up to date. We're going to post all the updates for the month like we always do, but this was so much fun for the first month. If you're watching the replay later on, put a comment in the comment section below the video with hashtag replay so we know you're watching the replay. And feel free to share your thoughts about people we meet on vacation. Even though you couldn't join us here live, we still want to hear what you thought of the book. So please leave your thoughts down below if you missed us live. But thank you guys. Thank you, Stevie and Sarah. And I think Kelly was here. Thank you so much for joining us live. We had a blast with you tonight. It was so much fun to talk about the book. We're glad that you all enjoyed the book as well. This was so much fun. Yes, thank you so much for being here, Sarah. I'm so looking forward to the buddy reads. We are too. Yes, absolutely. We'll keep you guys updated in Discord. Thanks so much. This was fun. Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you guys more than you know. We're so grateful that you're a subscriber here and you chose to join our book club and participate and stay in touch with us on Discord. We love chatting with you guys about books and life and getting to know you all. We appreciate you so much more than you'll ever know. We're going to wrap up for tonight, but thank you so much again for being here. We hope you have a really, really lovely weekend. And we will be chatting this weekend on Discord, so definitely check over there. And we will see you on our channel next week here for a new video on Friday and reading sprints next weekend. And check out our new video we posted today if you haven't. Check out our Dystopian Readathon reading vlog. Thank you again for being here. We love you all so much. Have a great night. We'll see you in Discord. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Hope you have a good night.
Bye.